Hey friends! Zombies. An idea where imagination and anxiety meet, wondering what if all humans decided to aggressively track you down instead of leaving you alone, becoming popular with the masses by literally wanting a piece of you and turning you into one of them, a degraded human being with no life and no aspirations, casually wasting away their time until they expire. Over the decades, we have had multiple zombie games, but not to the scale where we manage a normal city, and being overrun by the undead horde is a massive possibility, where one infected can produce such massive chaos. I'm talking about They Are Billions, a city-building RTS game where the goal in every map is to build a colony with a substantial population, directly putting you in the middle of a densely populated and lively masses. And it's your responsibility to explore, expand, and exterminate all negativity in North America, allowing you to build an industry and exploit the natural resources, while resisting a continuous undead swarm and ultimately defeating them once and for all. First, there is the campaign, where the overarching story is that humanity produced too much babies. The booming desire to have unprecedented, unprotected penetration achieved an event known as the baby apocalypse. There are too many people and too little to feed. The world leaders discuss how to handle this crumbling condition, up until one man's intrusive thoughts came out. And he said, "What if we ate ourselves?" Everyone looked at him, questionably, but with morbid curiosity. It was eventually approved, and legalization of displacing undesirables has been received very well, resulting in fewer people in the streets and more burger steaks on the sheets. I'm sure this fixes the whole situation forever. After a few decades of recycling human beings, we have successfully eradicated homelessness and world hunger. Yay! During this time, it was stated that the culinary world has made a major breakthrough. After a few more decades, people have been showing symptoms of migraine and aggressiveness. The undead has arisen, the infection quickly spreading across the entire world. The war was on, and we lost it. The undead was growing by every person they bite. Ultimately, humanity is reduced to one city. What happens now? Quintus Crane, a man with such brilliance and narcissism, founded the new empire, and after a dozen attempts at reconquering the old lands, you landed the job to become the general. How? Why? You were good in school, I guess. Great job. It's your time to build a legacy and expand eastward colony by colony, encountering vast amounts of zombies and mutated undead creatures, with varying degrees of weather, temperature, and minerals to nationalize. Most of these missions is a tent building simulator. Build a brand new colony with a booming industry and resist the zombie hordes living or unliving there. In the end, they'll send an enormous swarm to take you down for good. It's not just zombies who walks and runs as well. There are in fact multiple zombie types you have to be aware of, starting from teenagers to senior citizens, then ramping up with fresh infected colonies and gym buff executives. Fat zombies, mega fat zombies, women with uncontrollable rage, venomancers, and man-made biological weapons. To counter them, we have our own units too, mainly the ranger, the soldier, and the sniper. They will be the backbone of your army and works better in groups. Upon acquiring precious resources like oil, you can now train psychopaths as well. Lucifers, introverted pyromaniacs who can kill your own units. Thanatos, artillery as a service. Titans, mobile death machines with AoE damage. Mutants, athletic basketball centers who slap zombies pretty hard. Together, they'll defend and wage warfare against the undead. Unlock new technologies over the course of the campaign. Technologies that you'll have no idea what to use for unless you played survival. Complete colony and hero missions to obtain research points. Let's talk about hero missions. At the start, you choose between two elite heroes. The great part is that it doesn't matter. Gameplay on hero missions are not fun. You shoot zombies and find shiny little things frustratingly. Whereas the colony missions are like a pressure cooker. The hero ones feel like a point-and-click idle simulator. The maps on its own are kinda interesting, carefully designed to tell a story about life before the disaster. For that, I appreciate it. The gameplay, I don't. Just the gameplay concept doesn't make sense when they're going around a highly dangerous location alone. We have an entire army. Why can't we bring 10 of these guys? You can't even use these heroes on regular missions. What a wasted opportunity. The real challenge in missions is expanding aggressively. Take out multiple hordes all around you with no particular idea where you're headed. All the while trying to prevent yourself from being overwhelmed by the sudden influx of the invading dead. Zombies only act when they hear something. If they suddenly hear a particular tune in the distance, they'll very much run at you at all costs. Noise goes hand in hand with technology. Advanced units produce more noise. An industrial city makes a lot of noise. Clearing out zombies becomes mandatory. You press to build the most glorious buildings mankind has ever built since the apocalypse. Zombies will come around from time to time, either from beyond the map or from zombie mansions. It's inevitable to get flooded with the dead. Enormous amounts will pile up beyond the walls and will slide inside once they've smashed through. Suddenly, you just say to yourself, I'm screwed, and try your hardest to kite them as much as possible. Thankfully, in military school, they jog 20 miles a day. As such, they can run indefinitely, much like trains. In time, you'll be able to build walls and defenses, such as an automated turret, ballistae, and a magnificent electric-powered shocking tower. The best and most satisfying way to fry up an entire wave. Almost as if they're needed for every major defense. Backed by a platoon, they will take care of everything. Fortify around choke points and let them come into your kill zone. Zap, shoot and decimate them however you please. Finally, the Emperor will acknowledge your efforts and make you his best man at the wedding. As a side note, there are swarm missions too, where you deploy soldiers based on limited Empire points. You defend an outpost from zombie invasions. This could either be too hard or too easy based on how deep you have research. Spam soldiers and clump up together like your typical third world hangouts, or simply use arsonists to roast them well done. There's also survival mode, where there's no official story, only the colony and the expansion of our industry. Every map is procedurally generated. You're lucky if you get a lot of resources early on. The difference is that there's no research points or bonuses, only a selection of mayors depending on the colony size and days pass. It's essentially just the same gameplay, but with random experiences and challenges that goes with being auto-generated. With available options to choose, from your hard deadline to the amount of lag you're cool with. They are billions. Several zombies were harmed in the making of this video. It's a fun game with plenty of killing to boot. A fantasy that realizes the hectic terror of being overwhelmed by greasy, dirty undead, while trying your best to hold them off. While it has its own issues, it's still an entertaining spectacle to watch its battles. So, here is my final score. One shocking tower over billions. Highly recommended. Play it, enjoy it.